What's up guys, Houndish here, and I'm back with another Destiny video, and today I wanted to jump in and show you guys my best PvP weapons inside of the game. So this is stuff that I've been collecting pretty much since the Taken King came out, and these are probably the best roles that I own as well as the weapons that I use the most. So we'll jump in and take a look at the primary weapons I've got first, and what a good way to start out. We have my IS Luna. This is probably one of the luckiest weapon drops that I've ever had in this game. So in the sights we have Steady Hand IS, we've got Fast Draw IS, and also Quick Draw IS, which is generally what I want to use on here. We have Outlaw for increased reload speed on precision kills. In the middle we do have hand-loaded casket mag, and then finally rifle barrel, which is of course the big one right here. The range on IS Luna with rifle barrel is pretty fantastic. And finally, look in the chamber. So this is absolutely the best legendary hand cannon that I have for PvP, and it's just the best feeling hand cannon for me as well. So that is my IS Luna, pretty much my most used hand cannon in Crucible, especially over the past few months. I've probably had it for like 2, maybe 3 months right now. So that's the IS Luna. But moving on, I do have the Blind Perdition, which is a pretty godly pulse rifle right there from Trials of Osiris. Of course, it's a fixed roll, so I didn't get particularly lucky on anything. And moving on, I have the Clever Dragon. This isn't a godly roll of the weapon, but it's pretty nice. So we have Perfect Balance or Oiled Frame, Snapshot or Casket Mag, and then we've got Glass Half Full and Unflinching. So these three make for a pretty good combination. You could always do with more stability or more recoil bonuses, because this thing has pretty severe recoil, but Glass Half Full isn't the worst thing to have on a pulse rifle like this. And I have used this thing a little bit inside of the Crucible, and it's pretty fun. So when Iron Banner does come back, the grind for god rolls on this is going to be pretty real, but it's still a nice weapon right there. I do have a nice Hopscotch Pilgrim, which I picked up in the Crucible. So it's got Red Dot ORES, Focus Lens, and then the Sure Shot IS, which I actually like on this type of pulse rifle because it gives you that really big kind of circular scope right there, which the Messenger used to have, which was pretty cool. And then we have Counterbalance, which is nice, lightweight, hand-laid stock, so the stability is just stupid. You lose a tiny bit of range here, so I could go with Small Bore, which also is going to give me pretty good stats considering Counterbalance is right there. And finally we have Spray and Play for increased reload when the mag is empty, which isn't the greatest bonus for me, because I don't tend to kind of run out all of my ammo in a mag. But when I kind of have that in mind, this is a pretty beastly roll of a Hopscotch Pilgrim. Of course, not the strongest weapon in the Crucible, but still pretty good and pretty fun to use. We have my Grasp of Malak, which was also a very lucky drop right here. So we have the Red Dot ORES, we've got Focus Lens and True Sight. Red Dot absolutely is the best option right here. And then we have Counterbalance or Perfect Balance, and Perfect Balance, should I say. Hand-laid stock, which I have gone with, even though I lose a little bit of range right there. But the stability, the recoil control on this thing is ridiculous. We have Disciplinarian for bonus damage to Fallen, which I'm not going to use, and then Third Eye. So that is a really nice Grasp of Malak. And these things still, of course, absolutely shred inside of the Crucible. Same archetype as the Clever Dragon as well. Grasp would definitely be my preference because of the roll. A roll like this on the Clever Dragon would be pretty damn awesome. Moving on, a pretty nice Ill Will right here, which, you know, of course, they are the slower rate of fire hand cannons. They're not the best in the Crucible, but they still can pack a punch and they're pretty fun to use. So I have True Sight IS, Sure Shot IS, which of course is the nice one to have, Quick Draw IS, and we've got Triple Tap, which isn't the worst thing in the world considering we've only got 7 in the mag, Hammer Forged, Explosive Rounds, and Rifle Barrel. So kind of similar to the IS Luna, this thing has pretty insane range for a hand cannon right there, and then Reactive Reload, so you can pretty competently 2-tap if you get one shot off with reactive reload on this hand cannon. So that's pretty beastly right there. I throw it on once in a while. Moving on, the Suros PDX, which I've had for quite some time, and this is a roll that I just really enjoy. So it has fitted stock that I'm rocking, Head Seeker, and then we've got Snapshot or Small Bore, and it gives it a pretty good combination of stability, and you don't lose much range right there. You actually get a bit of a boost off Small Bore, so it's a really nice roll of the PDX. Definitely my favorite one. Have tried a lot of the others out, but I find myself always coming back to this one. And these are pretty much all of these weapons are ones that I want to get up to 400 as well with some infusion fuel. I've really been focusing on the PvE weapons because on the most part they help me to get more, you know, 400 level gear. I do have the vendor roll of the palindrome as well right there. If you make a comparison to IS Luna, it's a pretty similar hand cannon. Very, very nice indeed. But moving on to my special weapons, I have a really nice 1000-yard. All throughout the Taken King, I was trying to get a great 1000-yard like this one, and I got this like the first week of Rise of Iron. How ridiculous is that? But we do have Wild Hawk, Short Gaze, and Ambush. So Short Gaze or Ambush, of course, some pretty popular scopes right there. Army of One, which isn't a bad thing to have. Speed Reload, and Late Stock, which I have gone with because I don't really rate anything else over it on this particular weapon. Disciplinarian for bonus damage to Fallen if I do take it into PvE. This can be somewhat useful, I suppose. And then we have Hidden Hand, so that's a really nice 1000 yards there. It's pretty much replaced my longbow as my sniper that I rock inside of the Crucible because, of course, you don't have the ammo constraints with the 1000-yard stare. Moving on, I have a nice 77 Wizard right here, which I've been using a little bit. Quick Draw IS in the sights, Red Dot OES, which is nice, and Red Dot ORS1, which looks like that. I have Hipfire, which isn't sort of insanely good. Can be somewhat useful on fusion rifles. Quick Draw, braced frame, so the stability is fairly good right there. It does have accelerated coils, but I lose quite a bit of stability. And then finally, knee pads, which is a pretty nice bonus on fusion rifles in general. I don't rate it the highest on this type of fusion rifle because it has a longer charge time, so being super aggressive is a little bit more difficult with this type of fusion, but still, this is a really nice fusion rifle roll, and I'm glad I picked up. Moving on, I have the Party Crasher, and this is my go-to shotgun for Crucible. Even now that Matadors are available, I still rock this thing. So we've got aggressive ballistics right there, rangefinder, we've got lightweight or rifled barrel, which is always good, flared magwell, which I'm not going to rock, and underdog, which can give you a boost of range and handling when health is low. And this is just a great combination if you want to be super aggressive, because as you take damage and proc underdog, you know, it enables you to get kills that you wouldn't get otherwise because of that range. So the Party Crasher that I have here is still my absolute favorite shotgun. But speaking of the Matador, I do have a decent roll of a Matador right here. Not a god roll, but still pretty functional. So we've got aggressive ballistics right there. We have spray and play for increased reload when the mag is empty, which isn't the worst thing in the world at all. Rifle barrel, so it's got that nice solid range, and final round. So it's a pretty good shotgun. I would like rangefinder on it. I don't know whether you can roll underdog and things like that. If I could get the same roll as I've got on the Party Crasher on this thing, wow, that would be pretty insane. So pretty nice Matador right there. Again, all of these weapons are ones that I want to get up to that 400 level pretty soon. The LDR 5001 that I have, not the most godly roll for the Crucible, but it's got Ambush, which I quite like, Grenadier, which again isn't a bad thing to have. We've got Snapshot, which is always good, and Outlaw. So that's a pretty nice thing to have on a sniper for PvP, and it gives you that super awesome feeling as well when you're just hitting headshots and getting those quick reloads. It's really satisfying. And I have a fairly similar roll on the longbow, but I do have Short Gaze, and then we've got Grenadier again, Quick Draw instead of Snapshot, and Outlaw. So it's a pretty similar roll. This was my go-to sniper ever since the April update when I managed to get it drop whenever that was. Such an awesome PvP weapon. The aim assist is just ridiculous. Should I say, just ridiculous on this thing. Still pretty damn good though. So that is the longbow that I've been rocking. Finally, the Winged Word is sitting here as well. This is the sniper from Trials of Osiris, a very popular sniper. I haven't used it tons, used it a little bit, and it's a really solid weapon, so I want to get used to using this thing a little bit more regularly. But moving on to the heavies, we have the Gjallarhorn, because of course Gjallarhorn is still pretty beastly in the Crucible if you want to be a rocket tracking asshole. No offense to anyone who does, including myself. But we have the Unending Deluge, and this got smooth ballistic spray and play. I've gone with small bore right there for some decent stability and range, and then finally rangefinder. So this is a pretty fun machine gun to use. It does absolutely slay if you just want to run around picking people off with an LMG in the Crucible. The Baron's Ambition, that I really, really love this thing. We have smooth ballistics, counterbalance, perfect balance, and feeding frenzy, which I really rate super highly on machine guns because you can just get a kill and get that increased reload speed. Of course, machine guns reload pretty slowly, so this is great to have right there. I have the Titanium Orchid, which comes from Iron Banner inside of Rise of Iron, so it's not absolutely godly, but we've got Hard Launch, which I've gone with, heavy payload, quick draw, and grenades and horseshoes. It doesn't have the best blast radius or velocity right there, but it's fairly solid for PvP, and it's nice to have something new at least to rock in the Crucible, because as far as legendary rockets go, pretty much the only other thing that I've used inside of Year 2 is the Tamarind right here, which also has a fairly decent roll. We've got Warhead Verniers, which is good. We've got Battle Runner, Heavy Payload, and Grenades and Horseshoes. So of course, this is really the important combination, along with those stats on this weapon. And these are about the best legendary launchers that I've got for PvP inside of year 2. I also have this Zombie Apocalypse right here, which I got at the start of the April update. I was super happy to pick up. So we've got Smart Drift Control, Counterbalance. I'm going with Rifle Barrel right here, and Persistence. Generally pretty nice for the Crucible. It absolutely shreds, and you can just cross-map people with this thing as well. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a combination of the stability and range. Even though you could probably find a higher ranged LMG, this thing will just map people. It's like a Mida multi-tool combined into a machine gun, so you can just destroy people once you got the heavy ammo if you're running in 6v6s and things like that. So there you go, guys. These are pretty much the best PvP rolled or just general PvP weapons that I like to use inside of Destiny. Of course, I'm always on the hunt for new weapons inside of the game for the Crucible, but these are the ones that I really want to get to 400 as soon as possible, especially now that more of the PvE content is kind of worn out and I'm going to be spending more time back inside of the Crucible. So let me know down below what your best rolls are or your favorite weapons are to use inside of the Crucible. If you have enjoyed this video, a like below is always appreciated, and if you're new to the channel, you feel free to hit subscribe for a lot more Destiny and Rise of Iron content. For now though, whatever you guys do, have an awesome day.